Haku, Haku. Sad boy Haku. He doesn't look sad. He's happy. Haku is having some allergy problems, as you can see by this giant bald spot. And, oh, big bald belly. Bald legs. Poor Haku. Poor Haku. He is okay, and he is going to be totally fine. So, if you're worried, you can go ahead and put your panic away. Everything's going to be all right. Haku is just a little bit itchy, and he's going to be bald for a while. We don't know how long. So, last fall sometime, Haku and Nagi had a whole bunch of like strange little bumps on the back of their necks. We took them to the vet, and the vet said that he thought it was probably just some sort of allergy. Cats get allergies sometimes. I guess it's kind of a common thing, especially in that season. So he said, as long as it doesn't get worse, then it'll probably just go away by itself. And it did end up just going away on its own pretty shortly after. And then, how long ago? Now, a few weeks ago, Haku started itching a bunch. And then I noticed a little bald spot forming on the side of his stomach here. So we took him to the vet again.
It was kind of difficult for us to tell because cats groom every single day. I think it was just part of his routine. But when we saw it,
I noticed a while ago, and then I think it took a few days for me to convince June that it was not a normal thing for Haku, that he definitely looked like something was going on and we needed to take him to the vet.
And this part, the leg, we can show his other position later so we can see more, but here.
When we took him to the vet, it was by the time that he had a little spot on his side that I was finally able to be like, June, look, he's losing fur. We really got to take him to the vet. And the vet did a biopsy, and he thinks Haku has something called eosinophilic granuloma complex, which is basically where eosinophils, which are a type of white blood cell, accumulate in the skin, and it makes the cat really, really, really itchy. The way that you can diagnose EGC is by doing the biopsy and then looking at it, you can see all of those white blood cells in the skin. So that was like a pretty clear diagnosis. If you like Google it, there are really scary images where a lot of cats are like, they have open wounds all over or like growths and stuff. Haku doesn't have anything like that. He's just really, really itchy to the point where he like licks or scratches off his fur. Aside from that, like he's totally fine. As you can see, he's a happy boy. He doesn't even look itchy right now. It's just sometimes he scratches and licks more than he should be doing. How does this happen? Probably some sort of allergy. The thing with cat allergies is it's really, really difficult to tell what they're allergic to. Apparently the number one allergy for cats is like fleas, but we've taken all of our cats in except for Peachy, and none of them have parasites internally or externally. We also gave all 4 of them a broadline treatment just to make sure, but the vet didn't see anything. So the next thing we can test is food. And sometime last fall, we started using a type of wet food that we're a little bit suspicious of because when we first let our cats try it, Peachy violently threw up for like half an hour, well past the point where she even had anything in her stomach. It looked really awful for her. I'm going to be honest, I was just totally done with the food completely at that time, but we made sure that she never had access to that food, even licking the other cat's bowls. And so like she hasn't had that anymore, but because she had such a violent reaction, he's getting a little spot up here in his armpit too. But because she had that reaction, we're a little bit suspicious of that it may have been that wet food. So we switched Haku to a allergy food for cats. You can see it's almost gone because we've been using it for a few weeks now. The problem with EGC is that even if you remove the allergen, it can take 6 to 8 weeks to see improvement. So even if we guessed correctly that it was some sort of food allergy, Haku will still be itching and like removing fur for several more weeks. There are other kinds of treatments you can use, but the main treatment for EGC, which is not even, it doesn't cure EGC, it just treats the symptoms. It's steroids, and because EGC is such a long-term thing with cats, putting cats on steroids for a long time is very dangerous for them. It has a lot of really bad side effects, and so the vet said we should absolutely not do that unless it's a last resort. So we're trying to figure out what the allergy is. It just takes a really long time to like narrow it down, if we can even figure it out. Like I read that a lot of people, like in some cases with EGC, they can never even figure out what the cat was allergic to. If things had been worse for Haku, like if he developed open sores or if he licked his skin to the point where he started licking off skin, then we may have had to put a cone around his neck so he couldn't lick himself. But again, we didn't want to do that unless it's absolutely necessary, because it takes so long for the EGC to like die down that it would kind of be torture to keep a cat in a cone for 2 months. So even though like he's living in a way where he can continue to lick off his fur, we think this is best for him right now. His fur will grow back, but we're not causing him extra stress or doing long-term damage to his body.
You're following vet's advice.
It's our vet's advice. And other than the fact that he looks really sad, he looks like a little plucked chicken right now. He's totally normal. Everything else about him is completely fine.
His rear legs look like that.
I know. It's really sad.
But he has energy, he has appetite, he chases around Nuggy.
He meows at us, he jumps up on us when he wants food. He is just completely normal. We were worried in the beginning that he wasn't going to eat this food at all. He did not like the smell of it. He was not eating it for about 3 days-ish. He would only eat a couple kibbles and then just stop. So if he refused to eat any longer than that, we were going to have to resort to steroids. But I don't know, one morning we just woke up and suddenly he was totally fine. And he started downing it.
If he's not gonna get better in 2 months, I think he says the other possibility could be atopy. So we will work on him accordingly. And we might do a steroid, and if that works, hope it works, and then hopefully he will grow back his fur in like a month, I hope.
Aw, itchy boy. Haku. Poor itchy boy. Haku. It feels sometimes frustrating to not be doing more, because when you can see that your cat is having an issue, you want to do everything you can to make them feel better. But right now our vet thinks the best thing that we can do is switching him to this special diet and then not really doing anything else. So we kind of just have to let him be right now. Sometimes if he gets really scratchy, I'll rub the spot he's itching for him so that he doesn't have to scratch off any further. And we make sure to give him lots of love and playtime, and he's really, other than being itchy, he's completely normal. Haku did also have a blood test, and the vet did an x-ray.
An echo. Pretty much everything, and blood test as well.
So Haku had a full physical as well, and he's completely healthy in every other regard. So nothing else is wrong with him, although we did notice that one of his hip sockets is slightly misshapen.
He said just keep an eye on him, but he said we can totally just play with him and exercise too.
We'll keep you guys updated.
All right. See you.